Hey peeps, I am back from the beach, so I am getting down to some more crafts. Of course it's Tuesday, so we've got a tutorial Tuesday on the way for ya. And this one was kind of inspired by another craft that I was working on. Hopefully I posted it yesterday, but if I didn't, you should see it soon. So you want to keep an eye out for that. But today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be using this fun rope, twine, whatever you want to call it, and we're going to be tying some knots. And knots are really cool because you can use them to spice up lots of projects, whether you want to, you have a jar you're working on that'll have a candle in it and you want to tie some twine around it just to give an extra pop. A knot can really add some extra detail, just some extra character to your projects. So I've got 3 that I'm going to be showing you today, and hopefully you'll be able to get the hang of them and be able to use these knots in your projects. So the 3 knots I'm going to show you today is, first of all, we have this cool figure 8 knot. This you just need 1 strand to do. The second is a granny knot. This calls for 2 pieces of rope or thread or whatever you're using. And lastly, we have this adorable heart knot. So each of them kind of go up in difficulty. We're going to start with the figure 8 knot, work our way to the granny knot, and then we'll end with this really cool heart knot. So for our first knot, the figure 8 knot, we just need 1 piece of rope. And you can see here I've got some puffy paint on it from a project I was working on earlier, so hopefully your rope won't have that on it. So we're only going to work with the right end of our rope. So we're going to take it and we're going to make a nice loop just down like this. And we're going to cross over the left side of the rope. So you can see we've got this loop crossing over. Then we're going to come underneath the left side of the rope. I'm going to tighten it a little bit. And we don't want this to come untwisted. We want to keep it twisted like this. And then I'm going to take the right side and go through the loop we've created from the top down. It's going to look like this. And then just cinch it up. And that is the figure 8 knot. Our next knot is going to require 2 pieces of rope. So I've got 1 piece and the second piece which is still connected to the coil. So you're going to start by taking your pieces of rope and folding them in half. So I have a nice loop in either end. And we're going to feed this left loop through the right loop, come up from the bottom. And leave them resting on top of each other like this. Then to complete the knot, we're going to grab these tail ends right in here and pull them through. And then just cinch up the knot, and that is a granny knot. Our final knot, which is the heart knot, this is the hardest knot, but it's not impossible to do. What I actually found was the hardest part was tightening the knot, because with the other knots, once you get them all looped together, you just kind of pull them tight, and then they come together. With the heart knot, though, if you just pull it tight, once you've got it all woven, you just end up with a big snarl. You want this knot to kind of lay flat. So once again, we're only going to work with the right end of our rope, but we do want a kind of a long piece. So we're going to start by making this nice pretzel. Loop around like this, come over, and then we're going to come under and up. So you can see it makes a pretzel kind of shape. And I'm going to start pulling it a little bit tighter, because if you have too much slack, it's going to make tightening or not even more of a challenge. But you do want to make sure you have plenty of rope on the right side. So here we have our pretzel shape. Then you want to take your right end of rope, and we're going to come next to where it went through before. We're going to come under this same spot right here. But instead of following all the way under everything, we're going to come up in this loop right here. So we're going to go under, over. Now we're going to pull it tighter, but we're going to leave this nice loop up here at the top. So we started with our pretzel, then we folded the right end around, we went under, and then over. Now to finish this knot, we're going to work right in here. So we're going to go under, over, over. So I'll show you how we're going to do that. Come under, over, Get my hands out of the way so you can see what I'm doing. Under the next one, and over. And here's where it starts to get a little bit messy. And if you take this and you just pull it tight, you're not going to end up with a heart. You're going to end up with a big knot. This right here, to kind of show you how the heart's going to turn out, this is the bottom of the heart. This is like the point at the bottom. And then this is the top curve, and this is the other top curve right here. So we want to tighten this, and the way I found to tighten it, it might help if you have someone else help you. So I'm going to have my sister help me, and she's going to hold her finger right there because we want to keep track of where that middle spot is. And to tighten it, we're first going to pull up on these side loops. So we're going to pull up on these top loops. So I'm just going to pull the slack, work everything down on both sides. See, everything else is looking a little weird, but I'm just going to keep pulling up on these top. And once I do that, I'm going to come to these bottom loops that are now sticking up, and one by one I'm going to pull them down. That side, and then on this side. And yes, that is the phone ringing. Sorry about that. And then lastly, I'm going to pull these loops out by pulling up on the left side, and then pulling up on the right side. So now it's getting a little tighter. And I'm going to keep repeating this process until it's really tight. So, to show you again, I'm going to pull up on these top guys, the top parts of the heart. So pull, kind of slide everything down. Do the same on the right side. Let me down. Also, depending on what kind of rope you're using, can change how hard or easy this is. So now that I've got these ones pulled up, I'm going to pull down on these ones. So I'm going to grab this guy right here. And it's basically tightening that loop that we just made big. We're kind of working the slack out. So on this side. And then do the same on this side. See, I'm grabbing this guy right here, pulling him tighter. Gonna end up with my slack down at the bottom, and then I'm gonna pull these sides up. And I'm not gonna go any tighter than this for right now. I'm just gonna kind of adjust it. But you can kind of see the heart shape starting to form. So I've played with my knot a little more and adjusted it and tightened it. And as I said, you want to keep track of where the bottom is. But you can kind of pinch the bottom, curve out the sides a little more, and you can see that cute heart shape forming. And like I said, depending on what you're using will change how easy or difficult it is to tighten your knot. For me, I found that I just needed to go slowly. Don't instantly pull these sides. You want to just kind of work the slack through the knot and out, and you'll end up with a nice cute knot like this. Well, there you go, guys. Now you know 3 cool knots that you can use in your projects. Hopefully, at least one of those you'll be able to get the hang of and you'll be able to use in a project. And I just want you guys to know I love all my followers. Oh. So, if you love me back, give this video a like and also subscribe. Comment below. I want to hear from you guys and know what you're working on. Tell me what you use these projects for. Tell me if you're able to master the heart. I want to hear from you guys. And as always, if this video is helpful, share it with others. It might help somebody else out if they're in a crafting crisis and they need a fun knot. You just might help somebody else out. But anyways, I've got some more cool videos on the way from my vacation. Got lots of shells. So I'm going to be doing some fun projects with those. But I will see you next Tuesday, if not sooner. The golf cart is really fun.